TGRO is a 50-50 on them. On 10-6, they moved to high volume. They're close to $1 billion on the volume again. They had some high days a few weeks back. They've been up and down, but they've been having some high volumes lately. When you look at them, they're holding strong at 0005. They had a strong finish on their 50-50 day. I kind of put that because of the red and green, how many candles were lit in different places. When you look at them, they definitely have that sweep where I could see them sweeping between 0006 to 001 this week. Maybe to finish off a Friday, you might see them pop back up, drop back down, come Monday, Tuesday, and then stay above like a 7-8 and slowly do a trickle up, or they might just pop and shoot at any time. On 10-7, they had a volume of over 800 million. So on 10-7, when we took a look at them, they had a little bit more green in their graph, but they're still playing about a 50-50 loading back and forth. You're definitely seeing who the bag holders are now, the people constantly buying and buying. With a 52-week high, TGRO, you could see them go to a 0043. TGRO, you could definitely see them rise up through November and be in the 002, and by December be 003. They could do a slow walk up, or you might just see them shoot up, spike, come back down. We'll have to see how things go once they go pink and what kind of publicity comes around this stock as far as buyers go. If they get some big fish in, what actually happens with outstanding shares, how much that gets reduced, what quarterly financials look like. There's some what ifs, but there's potential. With TGRO, I definitely see them going from, when you look at last October to February, and then you look at October 2021 to February 2022, I would say that they'll be back and they'll easily be above that 0025 and heading towards that 003 by February 2022 at the latest. Depends how much stuff gets delayed out into 2022. When you look at how big of a pop you could get, I would say 50 cents to $1 would be going towards that high side. But right now, to say that they've been at a 0043, you could definitely see them go to that 001 with TGRO, I misspelled it here, Oil Exploration Company. So TGRO, reserves for the future. When we look at the United States, some of the subsidiaries with TGRO, including C2R, Energy Commodities Incorporated, and JetRink Oil LLC. If we look at shut-in wells, I wanted to touch on this. To shut in a well means to make it not produce. So we'll start with a primer on production. When a well is producing, it means the well has been drilled, completed in a reservoir, and oil or gas is somehow moving up the well bore into the surface facility. In the petroleum industry, shutting in is the implementation of a production cap set lower than the available output of a specific site. This may be part of an attempt to constrict the oil supply or a necessary precaution when crews are evacuated ahead of a natural disaster. The final buildup sequence in a drill stem test, the initial shut-in period is usually followed immediately by an extended period of flow. The well is then shut in for the final buildup period. There are 1.65 trillion barrels of proven oil reserves in the world as of 2016. The world has proven reserves equivalent to 46.6 times its annual consumption levels. This means it has about 47 years of oil left at current consumption levels and excluding unproven reserves. Now, when you're dealing with a company like this, they're going after those unproven reserves. If we keep burning fossil fuels at our current rate, it is generally estimated that our fossil reserves and fuel will be depleted by 2060. So the unproven reserves, if somebody hits something big, you're going to lock in a big segment of the market. Oil will run out in 2062. Deplete easily drilled oil reserves. Oil gets harder and harder to extract. As it does, market prices rise to reflect it. Right now it's about the companies holding barrels in reserves and who can hold out barrels the longest to have the barrels when needed, when no one else does. Why we'll never run out? Because of the global climate policy. Alternative fuels cut into oil. Biodiesel, ethanol fuel, propane, natural gas, the hydrogen, the ethanol, electricity. We produce 70 gallons of ethanol per ton of waste. A revolution in urban living. Carbon. Carbon is your next cash crop. So with the oil, if they have these shut-in wells and they open up wells to deplete the wells and they can capture the carbon at the same time, you're looking at a carbon capture technology. When you get into technology, it lets them hit another market. We're looking at reuses or storage when we're able to store stuff. So you're looking at 90% efficiency on carbon capture, which means that not only are you going to profit off the oil with TGRO, but if they get into carbon capture, you're going to have another sustainable amount of income that could boost beyond the oil you're investing in a company. When you look at TGRO, Kansas and Oklahoma, I think they're good positionings for sustainability in this market and not to be impacted as hard as other areas on the coastline. Tiger Oil and Energy Inc. Go check out their website, tigeroilandenergy.com. Secondary recovery techniques catch my eye with this company, with TGRO. Advanced drilling, exploration. So when we look at those three, secondary recovery techniques, the carbon capture, we look at advanced drilling, the new technology, and we look at the exploration and all the different markets that you can hit and how much you can bring in, we start to look at the production and the profitability. When we look at management, with their management, you're looking at someone that's 73, but they have the wisdom, and they also are up with the company to move it into the future. You have some strong people around, and it's about transparency. The more transparent the company becomes, who will take over management in the future and what is to come will be an interesting aspect of this company. With TGRO, like I said, I think their dip was here in 2019 to 2021. But if you reverse a graph and start to look at them, you could definitely see that in 2022, they can be towards that 0.01 to 0.02. And by 2023, they could go over that 0.03 and be heading towards being a 10-cent stock. When and how big, it all depends on how much they delay stuff with oil and how the markets run. If all of a sudden the market starts to boom, you could see this company boom with the oil market. If the oil market take a gradual approach and continues an uptick but at a slow pace, so it's not too high, you'll probably see this company follow in its charts. So a high target I would put at $1.31, and a low target I would put at 32 cents, with conservatively being at a penny come next year if it's a slow moving rate. If the rate gets sped up, I could say that I could see this heading towards that 32 cent mark by 2023. Realistic 0.01 to 0.1 in 2022, and that's seeing spikes along the way. So that's where I could see in 2022 they go to a penny to 10 cents, and while holding in that range, you might see a spike to 32 cents and come back down, and they'll set the bar for going into 2023. So as above, so below. Oil, TGRO, if you look at prices in 2021, is $65.69 a barrel. You could be looking at $90 a barrel to $103 a barrel come 2024. So I think 2030 to 2040, if you get in now, you'll see profits in 10 years. If you wait 10 years down the road, you might miss a train, or you might be catching the end of it. And I say this because there will be a fall eventually. So depending on when the spike comes in the market and then the fall comes, by 2050 you could see that fall, because we're going to be on those alternative resources. It will come down to energy, solar, wind, the hydrocarbons that we catch with hydrogen, how much water there is, the water that's producing oxygen. So I consider this stock a good investment, but I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a stockbroker. So I look at this stock as a blue-collar worker on a short term. And a short term to a blue-collar worker in your life, when you look at a short term, it's the next 20 to 30 years. So it's the temperance, your patience, knowing that the oil boom in 2021, it will not last for decades. It will eventually pan itself out. So knowing that where the market's shifting in, electric vehicle markets for vehicles, that you'll still need gas and oil to produce many of the things that we're going to need to get to the cleaner technology. So we're going to have to burn through some of the old technology to get to the cleaner. That's playing for that solid gainer 12 to 18 months and a 20-year chance. So this could be that one chance, and then out of the next 20 years, but you have to watch the market every day. You have to pay attention every day, do your due diligence on these companies, stay on top of these companies you're investing in, and you're looking for that 12 to 18 month, that solid gain that could yield you some good profit and some good numbers come in from it. With TGRO, it's a good lottery ticket. If you look at a 12 to 18 month, it's just, the question is, will it hit? And the question is, when will it hit? And when it hits, that will be the thing. Does it hit in what year and in what span? Going between 2 years, I would say that we're in a pandemic low through 2023. If you saw a hit, I would say that it'll probably, your big hit will be 2023 to 2025, going towards that 2030 mark. Whoever has the stockpiles and build up to be able to release it and get the most out of carbon capture and stay up with all the new energy coming out, and who could roll their company with exploration with TGRO, is going from oil into the next industry and keeping the company going many years into the future. I think TGRO has that shot at being a lottery ticket. So make sure you do your due diligence. Make sure you're got a website and you're into a brokerage account that you can buy the stock you're looking for. If you're into stocks like this, I would check out SDPI, Superior Drilling, some of the other drilling stocks. When you get into those, especially oil tanker shipments right now, if you're investing in one part of the segment of the market, you might as well try to check out what else you can invest in that they're linked to in other sectors are the same. So that way you can try to get a little piece of it all and up your portfolio. Once again, this is just to put information out there. This is going into October 8th, 2021. Everybody have a good Friday and have a safe weekend.